Hey, it's Martin Griffiths, co-founder of Metis Automation, helping manufacturers to visualize the products in their factory. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to do better visual inspection of products. And my background to this, I spent the first 10 years of my career as a manufacturing engineer and manufacturing manager in some automotive companies. And then since 2009, started Metis Automation, and in over 100 projects now I've helped manufacturers to improve their processes. And be sure to stay to the end of the video where I'm going to show some templates and tools that we use to get better human inspection of products. So first off, why would you need to go about and have a person do a visual inspection of the products? Because, you know, in a good factory you've probably set up all sorts of verification tests, lots of automated inspections, but things can still slip through the cracks. You know, it might be it might be more like intangible type things, like it might be the feel of the product, or it might be, are there some tiny little scratches? It could be, there's all sorts of things which are, you know, maybe quite difficult to pick up by some kind of automated inspection. So in that case, you need an actual person, an actual inspector. The problem with this is that type of job is quite intensive on your concentration. And if you give someone that job, it's quite easy for, you know, it's possible if you don't design the process right, that things are still slipping through the cracks, you know, because they're losing concentration, maybe they don't understand. So I've got 4 steps here to help you to do better human inspections of products. So number 1 is to apply the Preto Principle, the 80-20 principle, and that is 20% of the causes usually account for 80% of the results. So I personally think it would make sense to ask someone to try to detect 100% of the things, of the problems that could be found by doing a human inspection like this. I think it would be better to just ask them to look for the 20% of things that cause 80% of the problems. So, you know, that might be just 1 or 2 defects. By doing that, you let them focus on the most important stuff. If you ask them to check for everything, then it just becomes lost and it's difficult to prioritize. So just by focusing on the key few things that will make the biggest difference, I think will make the job of human inspection much more effective. So number 2 is that I think you then need to give the inspectors a baseline of make it really, really clear what's good and what's not good, what's acceptable and what's not. You know, and of making that as clear as possible with a picture of what goods look right, with a big green tick next to it, and a picture of what clearly is the specific defect that they're looking for, with the big red cross next to it. That makes it really, really easy for them to just say, yeah, this one's good, no, that one's bad, let's move on to the next one. Number 3, I think, is to do some comparisons. So once you've got your process in place, then to do some spot checks afterwards. So leave your inspectors doing their daily inspections, and then have someone else do some spot checks and check, you know, is this for both things that have been passed and things that have been rejected. On the rejections, you know, check that it has been rejected properly, and on the passes, do some spot checks to just double check that there aren't any defects in there. That's just going to make sure that the process that you've set up is working correctly. Okay, I think number 4 is to monitor that and redesign the process whenever you need it. So based on the results of those spot checks, if you're finding that there's some false rejects that shouldn't have been, or there's some things that are slipping through the cracks, just redesign that process to, you know, maybe you need to make it clearer what the visual cues are. Do some redesign to improve that process. And then number 5 is to have kind of a clear documented training and certification process. So, so things change quite quickly, and it's one of those jobs because it can be quite repetitive. It's quite easy to forget the principles. So having a training and certification process where, operators go through the principles of what they should be looking for, and then at the end, a series of tests where you give them, examples of the things that they're going to be looking for. And they only get certified when they've got, maybe 100% on that certification that they've done their inspection correctly. So let's just recap how to do better human inspection of products. Number 1 is to apply the 80-20 principle. Number 2, it's to have a clear baseline of what's good and what's not good. Number 3 is to do a comparison and spot checks on your process. Number 4 is to monitor the results of that and then redesign your inspection process whenever you need it. And then number 5 is to have a clear training and certification process for your inspectors. So if you like this video, click like and subscribe below, and then let me know in the comments which one of these 5 points you think will be most effective in helping you to improve your inspection of products. Thanks a lot for listening, and see you next time. Bye.